Okay, YouTube, this is JL Chambers 82, and sorry it's been a while since my last video. Again, I've been a little busy. I've been getting ready for a move, so I'm packing stuff up and everything. And anyway, one by one, I'm going to try to go over some systems that I'm going to be packing up and not really having access to for a while, probably about 8 months or so. So I might have shown some games and whatnot from them, but I haven't really talked about the systems. It's not the PS2. In fact, that's a PS3. But that is Persona 4, which is an incredible game, by the way. We'll get into that in another episode, I'm sure. But let's just kind of look over here. Yeah, you can see I'm starting to bag stuff up, and there we go. That's right. Today I'm going to talk briefly about the 3DO system. Now, as you can see, mine is the Panasonic Real 3DO. This was the first unit that came out, the one that retailed for like $700 when it first came out in '93. You know, there's lots of videos that talk about the 3DO and the history of it, so I'm not going to really get into that much detail about it. Basically, a guy who was one of the co-founders, I believe, of the EA, kind of split from EA, and wanted to make you know, a system that could be, you know, have multiple brands, basically, or multiple partners with the 3DO company. So you know, that way, he was trying to. It was a good idea. He was trying to make, you know, video games basically more accessible to newer developers, and you know, it would make the royalties the game developers had to pay cheaper, which was a cool idea, you know, but it didn't really pan out very well, especially when they made hardware this expensive. But anyway, the first unit was the Panasonic 3DO, came out in '93, retailed, you know, sky high. I mean, it is built very well, like a dump truck. I've got it plugged in. And that, well, the plug's not working, so anyway, I won't open the tray. I was just going to show you basically how smooth the tray comes out on this unit. I mean, this thing is heavy. For the time, it looked like, you know, the shit. It looked like something that belonged in a, you know, a high-end video rig. You know, this is way before DVD technology, and you know, high definition was even mentioned. So, you know, just to look at the back of it, you know, basically you have S-video, you have your RCA outs, and you even have an RF. So I mean, you know, you didn't have to have a stereo TV to play it. You know, I think when I first got my unit, I don't think I had a stereo TV. I think I had to use the RF. I think I had this unit, a Super Nintendo, a Sega CD, Sega Genesis, everything rigged up under, you know, one daisy-chained RF. So remember back in those days. Anyway, yeah, I didn't get mine at launch. I got it like the next year, '94. They finally reduced the price, and I had a Sega CD and everything. And I, you know, I'd only seen a handful of games, and the ones that I did see were amazing. You know, Total Eclipse looked amazing. The Madden, the football for this. I mean, I know if you look at it now, it's laughable, but it just blew away everything else that was out there. Also, I hate to admit it, but the full motion video games were very popular back then, and like the full motion video that this unit put out was just far superior. It wasn't near as grainy. So, you know, this really was just like, from my perspective, the next big system. I mean, it was a CD system for one thing. It was a CD only. You know, it wasn't an add-on or anything like that. There was no real gimmick to it. I mean, it was just that it was sold as a high-end piece of audio-video equipment, and you know, the 3DO company stuck by that until the bitter end. They're like, no, we're not reducing the price anymore. You know, this thing, it's worth it. It's worth it. And that's the lesson learned from it. You know, that I think developers now and you know, people that the companies that design systems, even though there's only a handful of them now, you know, I think that's the lessons that Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft have learned, is that you have to take a loss basically on the hardware because the money's in the software, you know. So, you know, when the PS3 came out, for example, it was very expensive. I bought that PS3 too. I bought the PS3 that was $600, but you know, the technology inside of it was worth close to $1,000, if not more. So they were already losing money from the day they put it out, but they were going to make it back up in the software, and that's where it all is, you know. So that was a lesson learned, and too little, too late for the 3DO. And it wasn't the only system, you know, to suffer that fate. I mean, there were several other systems that came out, and look where we are now. Now that the '90s are over, you know, and all of those little mistakes added up to, like, you know, we have basically 3 systems to choose from, and some people don't like. I miss the variety too. I miss the variety of all the different promises and everything that other systems made. But at the same time, I think the quality of the software is so much better now. Now, you know, that I say that, but then, you know, it seems that, you know, as soon as a movie comes out, there's a game launched at the same time, and it's always crap. And so, I mean, there's the good and the bad of that. But for the most part, I just think that, you know, the hardware is not where it needs to be. I mean, this thing, you know, it's from the 90s, and I plug it in, it works just the same as you know, the day it came off the assembly line, where people had red ring of death with Xbox 360s. So yeah, there's the compromise there. Pay a lot for the unit at launch, or, you know, let them take their time. And also, you know, they were planning on the system lasting, you know, 10 years. They weren't expecting it to die out, you know, in just 4 short years. I mean, completely just dead. No one wanted it. And you know, that's the thing, is now they're already talking about, you know, the new Xbox and the new PS3, and it's like they're just first getting all the bugs, you know, worked out, and finally getting units that will last. And you know, that's one thing to say about these old systems from the 90s, is that, you know, you buy these things off eBay, and if they're taken care of, they still work. And I don't think we'll be saying that about, you know, 360 or PS3s. So I think as collectors, you know, I think we'll probably be having to, you know, stock up on the newer systems, whereas, you know, something like a 3DO or an N64, it's still going to work, you know, for a long time. So anyway, just not to trail off too much there, this is the Panasonic 3DO. This is my favorite one, the FZ-1. If you're going to buy one for, you know, collecting purposes, this is the one to get. It's a little more expensive, but I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason on eBay with these things. Some days you'll catch one and it'll be $50, buy it now, and it'll be in immaculate condition. Sometimes when they get a little hot, you know, and people are talking about them on YouTube, I mean, it's almost like the stock market when people talk about stuff on YouTube. If it gets popular and the buzz is going, you're going to see the eBay prices spike up. So if you see a lot of 3DO videos, or, you know, equally a lot of Atari Jaguar or Jaguar CD videos, you're going to start to notice, like, oh, I want to grab one for my collection. It's almost every time the prices just spike up on eBay. So that'll let you know how influential this community is, like, on the market for the keeping the value of these these things as collector pieces. But, you know, I did have the 3DO. I'm sorry, the Gold Star version of the 3DO, because I had this initially, sold it, missed it, bought a Gold Star because it was cheaper, and it was garbage. I mean, garbage. So some people might disagree, because some people say that the Gold Star worked very well, but it did not. It was the tray would break. I had 2 of them. I had one brand new, and it hardly ever worked. It skipped a lot. It would freeze at the 3DO load screen, and that's it. Clean the laser, had to clean it all the time. The second one I bought off eBay, and it worked for like 2 days, and then it just crapped out. So buy this one. The top loader, you know, the Panasonic is also really good. It'll last a long time. It'll, you know, you don't have to worry about the drawer, you know, and that's what a lot of people worry about when they're buying these CD systems. But I'm telling you, I wish that the power would have been working. I didn't hit the switch, but just to hear the motors on this drawer, it's not going anywhere. Especially the way I play it now, you know, just kind of for nostalgic purposes, it'll last, you know, 20 years or so. And real quick, I'm just going to show a controller. Now, I don't have a Panasonic 3DO controller, which is unfortunate. The Panasonic 3DO controller looked almost identical to Super Nintendo. It had 3 buttons and 2 bumpers, and then a directional pad. This one I have, it's packed up, as you can see, is the Gold Star, and it was horrible. I mean, the directional pad was huge and not very responsive at all. The bumpers were big and awkward. The buttons on it were, I mean, some people like the way that this one feels in your hand better, but I thought it was crap. I thought the whole Gold Star 3DO was just awful. It was ugly. Stay away from that one. If you see it on eBay and it's cheap, there's a reason it's not going to last. Go with an FZ-1 if you're going to get a 3DO. But yeah, there's some good titles for this. A lot of people hate the system. I actually will always have a soft spot for it, because it was part of, you know, my childhood, you know, and when in the time when I was really into video games. This was one of the systems I put a lot of faith in, and it did disappoint, but there's some good titles for it. Star Control 2 is one of my all-time favorite games. It's the port on the 3DO is my favorite. Need for Speed, the original Need for Speed, is excellent. And Wing Commander, that Heart of the Tiger, that big, long, epic game, amazing. And that was way ahead of its time, too. There wasn't DVD technology yet, and it was pretty much DVD quality. So anyway, YouTube, that is the 3DO, and hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be trying to put some more up in the next few days while I'm getting stuff packed up. Just bear with me, guys, but I will keep rock and rolling and making videos. Later.